Recent comments by Georgia defensive tackle Nazir Stackhouse provide another reminder that there are several keys to building a dynasty and doing what Georgia has done the past couple of years. Getting better, recruiting at a high level, and maybe as important as those things, or even more so in some instances, change. I'm Jake Rose, senior editor over at DawgsHQ, and Nazir Stackhouse, when asked about Jalen Carter and replacing him, had some really interesting things to say. First, acknowledging it's not too different. Everybody says that. Nothing much has changed. That's kind of a party line. But then he goes on to say how things have changed, calling it an eye-opener for those defensive linemen who have basically spent the last 2-3 years just stopping the run. Jalen Carter was more than that for Georgia. Even Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt were more than that for Georgia. Yes, that was part of their job, but Carter was a big factor on third down as Georgia rushed from the interior. And that's something that the Bulldogs are going to have to replace. And sure, you think about Georgia, you think about Alabama, the dynasties of the sport. They reload quickly. They find another guy to step right in. The Bulldogs are going to have to do that, I feel like, in 2023 if they're going to three-peat and make history. And it starts up front with a group that, listen, that's the common thread the past 2 years. I mean, the secondary has been different. Georgia's replaced pieces at the linebacker position. They've had in and outs there with the edge rushers. Primarily, the defensive line has been elite both seasons, and it'll need to remain that way, and it's going to be a little tougher. Do you see a guy on that defensive line right now who you look to the 2024 NFL draft and you say, hey, he's going to be drafted in the first round? I don't. Not just yet. I mean, I think Michael Williams will be, but that'll be 2025. I think Bear Alexander and Jordan Hall have the capability, but there's no guy that you could say, all right, he could go ahead and jump to the NFL right now. You could have said that of Devontae Wyatt and Jordan Davis, 2021. You could have said it of Jalen Carter. He could have left after 2 years at Georgia and been a first-round pick. Things are just a little different for Georgia this time around. And a lot's going to depend on whether or not Georgia can replace that production, that disruptiveness up front. So who do you look at? You look at Bear Alexander. You look at Jordan Hall, as we've mentioned. Michael Williams, inside, outside, kind of guy that can help Georgia in multiple different ways. Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins is another guy. And then you've got the grizzled veteran, Zion Logue, Nazir Stackhouse, and Warren Brinson. The Bulldogs have capable bodies. They have grown men for them up front, 4th and 5th year guys. But they got to change. Some guys are going to have to add elements to their game. And if they can do that, sky's the limit. Come see us at DawgsHQ.